Hello, everyone. My name is Evelyn, and I'd like to share a story about how my mother-in-law, Rita, faced the consequences of her actions against me. The other key people in this story are my husband, Lucas, and Father Peter. They have given me permission to share this incident. This story revolves around the final, despicable act committed by my horrible mother-in-law, Rita. She was extremely abusive and manipulative. Lucas's father had died when he was young, leaving Lucas and Rita alone for a long time. Instead of finding a partner for herself, Rita relied heavily on Lucas for her emotional needs, clinging to him and chasing away all his girlfriends. You can probably imagine her reaction when Lucas told her he was marrying me. She went on a tirade and didn't even attend our wedding, thinking Lucas would cancel it if she didn't come. But that didn't happen, and when Lucas and I eloped, Rita was furious. She screamed at Lucas and caused all sorts of trouble. Despite Lucas's efforts, she never forgave him or acknowledged me. It was as if I didn't exist. She was even more upset when Lucas moved to my hometown for a great job opportunity, thinking I was taking her son away. For about a year, this drama continued until Rita surprised us by calling Lucas. "Lucas, I was thinking about visiting you. I haven't seen your new place, and I'm curious. Maybe I can also try to build a relationship with Evelyn," she said. "Mom, that's great news. You can come over anytime. We have plenty of space. Evelyn and I will be happy to have you here, right, Evelyn?" Lucas responded enthusiastically. "If you really want to mend bridges, we would be happy to have you," I replied. Lucas had been missing his mom, and I wanted to support him, even though I had my doubts. From the moment Rita stepped into our house, my suspicions were confirmed. She monopolized Lucas's time and wouldn't let him sit near me. She barged into our room at night to chat, even banging on the door if it was locked. Despite claiming she wanted to build a relationship with me, she barely spoke to me. Things came to a head when we took Rita to a restaurant for dinner and drinks, hoping to make her feel welcome. After we ordered, Rita said, "I think you should check on our order. The city is horrible, and the people here are so unprofessional. I don't trust them to make the drinks correctly. What does Evelyn's dad even do here? He must be a Walmart employee or something. I don't know how people can survive in these places." "Mom, that's very disrespectful. You can't say things like that. The city is great, maybe even better than our hometown." "You're being rude again," Lucas reprimanded her. "It's all right, Lucas. You don't have to stop her. She's entitled to her opinions. Rita, you can check the drinks. But I assure you the staff here are very professional and well-trained," I interjected. "I didn't ask you, Evelyn. You need to stop inserting yourself where you're not wanted. Learn to shut up sometimes," Rita snapped and walked toward the bar. This incident was the tipping point, confirming my fears about Rita's behavior and making it clear that she hadn't changed. Lucas looked extremely embarrassed and apologized for his mother's behavior. I told him we would discuss it later. As Rita walked away, Lucas got distracted by his phone, but I kept an eye on her. I saw her whisper something to the waiter and place an item on the tray before quickly returning to her seat. The waiter appeared dumbfounded, then glanced at me. I nodded, indicating that I had seen everything. Maintaining a neutral expression, the waiter brought our drinks. He served Lucas and Rita, then paused before handing me mine. Hey boss, here is your drink, but I didn't make it according to your mother-in-law's instructions. I don't think you would have approved." Lucas looked confused. "Evelyn, why is he calling you boss? What's going on?" "Oh, I guess I forgot to mention Rita. My father, the man you think has no money, owns this restaurant, and I co-own it with him. So the staff call me boss." Rita immediately turned pale and started to shake. Lucas, noticing her worried expression, sensed something was wrong. "What is going on, Mom?" "Why did our server say you told him to do something to Evelyn's drink?" Rita stammered. "Oh, it's nothing. He must have misunderstood me. I only changed my drink, nothing else. He must be confused." I interjected, "Really? I'm curious to know what he misunderstood. Waiter, why don't you tell us what happened? Lucas and I are very confused." The waiter explained, "Mrs. Rita here tried to make me put this substance in your drink. She tipped me $1,500 to do it and walked away before I could refuse. You know, boss, we don't do things like that, not even for money." "Mom, what the hell is he saying? Did you really do this? You better tell me the truth," Lucas demanded. Rita, panicking, replied, "I don't know what the waiter is talking about, Lucas. I did no such thing. This is all a setup. Evelyn must have orchestrated this to make me look bad. It's her fault. Wait, now you're blaming Evelyn? This isn't making you look very good, Mom. I'm getting more suspicious. You better tell me the truth. Lucas, how could you suspect your own mother? Your wife is purposely turning you against me. Trust me, this is all a ploy to separate us. She's already winning. I'm telling you the truth, Rita pleaded. Really, Rita? If you're so innocent, let's check the security footage. It would make things easier, wouldn't it? No one will have to assume anything, I suggested. That's a great idea, Evelyn. I'm sure you have free access to the CCTV footage here. Let's look at it and find out what happened. Then we will know who is telling the truth, Lucas agreed. At the mention of checking the footage, Rita paled even more. She started to act desperate and couldn't control her tears. Why do we need to check the footage? Don't you believe me, Lucas? I am your mother. You can't just accuse me of doing something like this. I'm not accusing you of anything, Mom. Your behavior has been very strange. It's not sitting well with me. Besides, we all need to know who is lying. Trust me, if you are innocent, I'll make sure the people who disrespected you pay. There is no need for that, Lucas. I forgive them for doing this. I'm a forgiving person. We don't have to get into this CCTV business anymore. Let's just go home, Rita tried to deflect. Calm down, Rita. We will go home once we know what's on the CCTV footage. It's only fair that we know the truth, Lucas insisted. Rita tried her best to convince us not to check the security footage, but none of us listened. I excused myself to visit my dad privately under the pretext of talking about the footage. Inside his office, I said, "Dad, you need to pull up the CCTV footage from the bar." Rita tried to mess with my drink. The waiter told us everything, and now Lucas insists we check the footage. Wow, that would be interesting to watch. What does Rita say about this? My dad asked. She doesn't want us to check the footage, of course. She's afraid of being found out. The waiter had warned me about her plans. What she did is not okay. I literally want to throttle her for trying to hurt my precious daughter. You should be more angry about this, Evelyn. Trust me, Dad, I'm pretty mad, but I'm keeping my cool. I have big plans for Rita. There is no way I will let her go easily, and I will need your help to teach her a lesson. My dad seemed very eager to know what I had in mind. After I told him everything, a look of delight and mischief spread across his face. He was furious at Rita for trying to harm me, but he was also pleased with my plan. He pulled up the security footage and I brought Lucas and Rita to the office. Dad played the footage, revealing Rita handing the waiter a packet and tipping him money, clearly pointing to my drink. The room fell silent for a few moments. Lucas looked ready to explode with anger, while Rita appeared like a deer caught in headlights. Even my father was glaring at her with intense displeasure. I remained calm and neutral. Lucas finally broke the silence. Mom, what is the meaning of this footage? So you were lying about not having anything to do with this. Rita, visibly shaken, realized she had been caught red-handed. She turned on the waterworks, clutching Lucas's jacket and crying pathetically. It was almost amusing to see a grown woman trying to manipulate her way out of trouble by crying, but I held back my laughter. Mom, how dare you try to hurt my wife? Is this why you've been in contact with us? I really thought you were ready to change. Now I see you just wanted to hurt Evelyn and create a rift in our relationship, Lucas said, his voice full of anger and disappointment. Lucas, you have to listen to me. You're misunderstanding me. I didn't mean to harm her. I just wanted to spike her drink so she'd get too drunk. I wanted Evelyn to embarrass herself and pass out sooner, Rita tried to explain. Are you kidding me? You tried to drug my wife's drink. Are you insane, Mom? What is wrong with you? Lucas was incredulous. It was a harmless substance, Lucas. I just wanted to spend some time with you alone. After your marriage, you've chosen your wife over me, and I hated it. I just wanted you to pay more attention to me, Rita continued, desperate. So, to get me out of the picture, you decided drugging me was the best idea. What kind of cheap crime thriller have you been reading? I snapped. Shut up, Evelyn. You have no right to speak between me and my son. This is why I wanted you out of Lucas's life. You've ruined everything, Rita spat venomously. Mom, how can you say that? Evelyn is my wife and has every right to speak on this matter. She is the victim here, not you. You are the one who ruined everything. I don't think we can come back from this. Stay away from me and Evelyn. We want nothing to do with you anymore. Don't try coming by the house. If you do anything stupid, there will be consequences, Lucas warned. Rita started to panic even more, sobbing and still defending herself. Despite everything, she blamed me for her actions. Lucas had had enough of her nonsense and continued to berate her. She finally addressed me directly, her voice filled with hatred. You witch. I will never forgive you for this. I will destroy you. Just you wait. No one can take my son from me and walk away without consequences. I will ruin your life. Oh really, Rita? You have the audacity to still stand here and threaten my daughter in front of me? What will you do about it, Peter? Throw me out of the restaurant? Do it and I will still find a way to get back at you, she challenged. You think I will just throw you out of my restaurant? Absolutely not. You tried to drug my daughter and bribe my waiter. I'm reporting you to the police, my dad declared firmly. No, 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 you can't do that. You can't call the cops on me. You can't get me arrested. Rita screamed, panic-stricken. Yes, he can, Rita. We have solid evidence of you bribing a waiter to tamper with my drink and drugs. The cops will have a field day with you. You'll be going to jail, I stated calmly. Rita was in shock, while Lucas remained impassive, fully supporting me. My dad had already called the cops, who had just arrived and entered through the back door. Seeing them, Rita became hysterical. She grabbed Lucas and pleaded, Lucas, are you going to stand there and do nothing? Your witch wife and father-in-law have called the cops on your own mom. You need to do something and save me. Why would I do that, Mom? They haven't done anything wrong. If I were in their place, I would have done the same thing. What you did was despicable. You literally committed multiple serious crimes, Lucas replied coldly. Today, do you really want to see your mother in jail, Lucas? Will you be happy to see me get arrested? What about my reputation? Rita cried out desperately. You destroyed your own reputation when you committed a crime to harass my wife. Yes, I would be happy to see you in jail. It looks like there's no other way to make sure you learn your lesson. You think I didn't notice how you kept blaming Evelyn for your actions? I'm not a weak husband who won't defend his wife just to appease his mother. I don't care if you get arrested. I won't bail you out or help you with anything. Be prepared for a restraining order as well, Lucas replied, his voice firm and resolute. Rita turned pale and started to shake, her eyes wide with fear. She looked at the cops who were taking our statements and watching the video. Then they swiftly walked up to her and cuffed her. Rita kicked and screamed, trying to make a scene, but thankfully the noise of the restaurant music drowned her out. The cops dragged her away, promising to update us about the situation. After the cops left, Lucas broke down in tears. Years of frustration with his mother and her toxic ways finally overwhelmed him. He started to apologize, sobbing into his hands. I'm so sorry, Evelyn. I'm a horrible husband. I left my mother close enough to try and hurt you. She almost jeopardized Peter's business by bringing drugs here. I'll never forgive myself for this. I don't even think I can show my face to you guys. That is nonsense, Lucas, I said, my voice steady. You did what any son would do. You simply wanted your mother and wife to get along. You had no way of knowing that Rita would go this far. Trust me, none of us are mad at you. Right, Dad? You are right, Evelyn, my dad chimed in. Lucas, you need to stop blaming yourself for someone else's mistakes. You are a good man and nothing like your mother. I just want you to let Rita suffer the consequences of her actions. I don't want her to try and hurt my daughter again. Can you promise that? Yes, Peter, I promise, Lucas said, his voice firm. I will not interfere with the case in any way. I will allow you two to handle it on your own. After what Mom has done, there is no way I'm helping her out or allowing her back into our lives. What I said a few minutes ago is true. I am going to file for a restraining order against Rita. I've had enough of her. She is not coming near Evelyn again. Lucas's words sent me over the moon. I was falling in love with him all over again. He reminded me why I married him and truly wanted him to be my husband. His display of his shiny spine made all his trouble totally worth it. I could also tell my dad became even more impressed with Lucas. It was a total win-win for all three of us. Rita's life quickly fell apart. First, she had a hard time getting out of jail. She had some money, but with legal fees and all, she couldn't meet the bail amount. It also didn't help that her job fired her as soon as the news of her arrest spread. She was found guilty on multiple charges and was sentenced to 8 months in prison. Rita was also made to pay a hefty fine for her crimes. What broke her the most was that her own son testified against her. Lucas outlined her previous issues with me and established a motive for tampering with my drink. Rita listened to her son and cried like a banshee as the judge gave her a harsh speech and sent her to prison. While the case was ongoing, Lucas and I filed for a restraining order. My dad also joined in and filed for a restraining order, wanting to be safe in case Rita tried to vandalize or attack him after she got out of prison. Thankfully, the judge granted us the restraining orders. It also helped that my dad's office had a CCTV camera that recorded her threats, which was presented as evidence in the other cases against her. The whole incident brought me, Lucas, and my dad even closer than before. Lucas ended up sharing a lot of his childhood trauma with us. My dad and I convinced him to join therapy, and he agreed on our insistence. So far, he is doing great, and we are actually having a good life right now. As for Rita, it looks like she is going to be far away from us for a while. If she tries to show up again, she'll be promptly thrown back into prison.